From the capital city of Charleston, West Virginia, this is Inside West Virginia Politics with Rick Johnson. Inside West Virginia Politics is brought to you by AARP West Virginia, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State, and by Williamson Health and Wellness Center, working to open doors to broader health care in southern West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. Now, Inside West Virginia Politics.
Hello and welcome to Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm Rick Johnson. Our first guest on the program today, he was the former governor of West Virginia, and now he is the junior senator in the United States Senate from the great state of West Virginia. We say hello to Senator Jim Justice and welcome to Inside West Virginia Politics. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rick. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for giving us some of your time today. We certainly appreciate that. Let's just get right into it. What is your reaction to the 100 NIOSH employees returning to work, not temporarily, but permanently?
I loved it. That's all there is to it. You know, we still got a bunch more that we need to, like I said a bunch of times, Rick, that if you're one of those folks that didn't get called back and everything, it's still a really bad day, and we don't want to forget them. And but the president has heard me over and over and over just say exactly just this. Mr. President, we're on the cusp of an absolute energy meltdown situation, and you know it, and I know it, and that's why he stood up so strongly for our coal industry and our coal miners. With all that being said, Mr. President, a year and a half from today, if we have this energy crisis like you can't imagine, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be deciding between jobs, but we're going to be deciding between homes and keeping them cool and warm in the winter, or we're going to be deciding, on the other hand, between industry and job opportunity. Now, we can't have them both to where we are right now. And we know that. Everybody here knows that. And with all that being said, if you're going to have AI, if you're going to have data centers, you're going to have all this stuff, you're going to have an energy demand like you can't fathom. None of us can possibly. Can you imagine if we were to say a year and a half from today, we're going to have double the electricity that we have in this country today? It is unfathomable what we're going to have to be able to compete with China, or we're going to just give it all to China. That would be crazy from a national security standpoint and everything. It would be totally crazy. Or on the other hand, we're going to have to cut back and have our homes maybe, too warm in the summer, not warm enough in the winter. We can't get ourselves in this situation. Well, just think about NIOSH. Really, Mr. President, we know how much you love our coal miners in West Virginia. There's probably only one guy that loves them more, and that's me. But with all that being said, Mr. President, we're going to call upon them to come and absolutely help us in every way with this energy crisis. We can't walk away from their health and their safety. We can't walk away. There's no way. He knows that and he gets that. And then what does he do? He resets. He absolutely resets. And that's exactly what happened here. This wasn't a thing because of the courts or whatever like that. President Trump's not afraid of the courts and everything. This was absolutely all about, we mowed too close to the fence, and then we said, we're going to absolutely step up, step back, and reset and get it right. And so that's what's happening. You've got champions, whether it be Shelley, hopefully myself, Riley, Carol, all of us fighting like crazy for those jobs and everything. We made a big impact here. We ought to celebrate that, but let's don't stop here. Let's try to get them all.
I want to ask you also about, I remember when you were governor, the National Guard here in West Virginia trained with troops from Qatar. With that in mind, should President Trump accept the gift of a $400 million airplane from Qatar?
Well, it's almost beyond my imagination or pay grade, to tell you the honest truth. But the net of the whole thing is, from the standpoint of security, well, we've got people. I mean, there's not going to be something on the airplane that we don't know about. I mean, we've got the greatest people in all the land on that. And if we're going to worry about that, well, we can worry about a lot of other things that'll have a lot more impact than that. so I'm not concerned about that at all. The other thing is, I mean, you know, it's free. I mean, I don't know how in the world, you know, we just say, well, I mean, let's don't accept anything. It's free. I mean, you know, but I'm not promoting it and everything. Like I said, it's kind of beyond my pay grade. The Trump people are really smart people, and they'll the legal minds and everything, they'll figure this out. I mean, I think we've got a lot more important things to be talking about than that.
All right, Senator, we're out of time. We thank you for your time today. We hope you have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Tell everybody I said hi.
Welcome back. If you were to guess how many cities and towns in West Virginia are having municipal elections this year, what would your guess be? The man with the answer is West Virginia Secretary of State Chris Warner. He's with us right now. Welcome, Mr. Secretary of State. How are you?
It's great to be here, sir.
Hey, it's good to have you aboard. And can you answer well, no, you can answer this question because you know how many municipal elections will we be having, I guess, this year all the way to the end?
This summer, there'll be a total of 104 municipal elections.
104?
Yeah. So most of those now are coming up on June 3rd and June 10th. So
I would have guessed 25 maybe, but wow. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and anybody like me who thinks perhaps your job, well, in the summertime you take it off and you come back in the fall, not the case at all.
There is no off season for the Secretary of State's office because as soon as this is complete, we'll be focused on the 26 general election. So, but all attention right now, including our investigators and field team, is monitoring the municipal elections across the state.
So now would be a good time for someone who is anticipating voting coming up this year in one of these municipal elections. This would be a good time to make sure they are good to go when they go to the polls. We love educated voters, and voters can become more educated at govotewv.com. And right now, you can still register. If your municipality is having an election on June 10th, you can still register to vote Monday and Tuesday and be eligible to vote in the June 10th municipal election. But you need to check with, with all of those elections, you need to check with the town recorder and see when your municipal election is. You know, one of the things, this is not unique to West Virginia, but you will have communities where on the ballot somebody is running against really nobody. There's nobody on the other side of that ledger. So what do you say to those folks? Go ahead and go out and vote? Yeah, we still want people to get out and vote and see what races are on the ballot. But one of the reasons being is in some of these small communities, if you don't have 20 people to vote, state code says that municipality shall be dissolved. And so we need to make sure that people not only register to vote, but go vote, even if you think that there's not a contested election. So if the person is running unopposed on your ballot, or there's several of those, go ahead and go out and vote.
Yeah, we need you to vote. Again, you have a treasurer, a town recorder, the mayor, city council members. So yes, go vote and see the races that are on the ballot.
Plus, you get that little thing you can put on your coat. Says,
I voted.
I voted. Tell us also about potential voter fraud. I think there was a case just recently in, was it Wayne County, I believe. So what if someone feels like there is potential voter fraud perhaps going on? What do they do?
The best thing that they can do is to dial 877-FRAUD-WV, and that goes directly into the Secretary of State's investigations unit, and we will pursue any call or tip if someone thinks something's going on. We have a campaign that says if you see something, say something, and that's where you would say something, is to dial 877-FRAUD-WV.
Can a person do that and not be known who they are?
Yeah, they can call in and just provide a tip to the investigation unit. Again, we have investigators all across the state, working throughout the state, and we have those strategically located so they can be anywhere within 2 hours. We can have an investigator there. We have our field team will be out. So every contested election for the rest of this summer will have one of our field staff or an investigator touching base with them and making sure things like the electioneering signs are up saying that you can't, campaign within 100 feet of the entrance of the polling place. Making sure that if you're a certified write-in candidate that it is properly displayed. So they have their checklist and they will be stopping to make sure that the things are done and done properly. In fact, I will start my day out on June 10th in Bridgeport, and we have 5 or 6 elections in that Harrison County area where I'll be, so everybody's working.
And the website that want to get more information is govotewv.com. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it as always. That is our Secretary of State, Chris Warner. I'm Rick Johnson. We'll be back in a moment on Inside West Virginia Politics. Welcome back. Up next on Inside West Virginia Politics is Danny Jones. He served 4 terms as mayor of Charleston. He was also the sheriff of Kanawha County, a member of the West Virginia House of Delegates, and former owner of Danny's Barbecue Stand on Charleston's, I guess it'll be East End sort of area on the Courier Street. And he joins us now on Inside West Virginia Politics.
Good morning.
May I shake your hand?
Sure.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Well, welcome to Inside West Virginia Politics.
Nice to be here.
You've been here before.
A few times.
And it's good to have you back again. We're going to talk about a few things in our segment today that some might be a little more personal and others might be political, if that's okay with you.
Talk about anything.
You ready for it? Let's go.
Right.
There's been a new addition to your family, I understand. Would you please tell us a little bit about Duke?
Duke is my Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Whoa, sounds fancy.
He's a ferocious little dog, and he's a pup, but he's rough for a dog of his type. But I enjoy it. I live alone, so I enjoy having a dog.
So he's a handful at the moment?
Yes, very much.
Okay. If we see you walking down the street with Duke, is he walking you? Is that the way it happens?
Pretty much.
Also, I know that you are a collector of cars.
Right.
And I never really did get a chance to ask you, what was the moment you decided in your life that you wanted to start collecting and redoing cars?
When I got my first car, 58 Oldsmobile convertible for $75. That was all beat up and rusted. And I don't know, I just love old cars. Always have. I like them in the 50s.
And you had a particular, was it the Chevy Nomad?
Yeah, still got it. I'm having it done. It's a car I owned when I was 18 years old, and it's going to cost a fortune. But I've also got a 59 Cadillac, which I drive around town some.
Okay, so if we see you around town, you'll have Duke in the front seat along with yourself driving, and
a big black Cadillac.
Wind blowing in your hair. Hey, let's talk a little politics now if we could
Sure.
as well. Focusing on the national level, if we could, what are you seeing these days? What are your thoughts on the political landscape in America today?
Well, I've lived long enough to where nothing surprises me anymore. I look back, I registered to vote in a motor pool in Vietnam just so I could vote for Richard Nixon. And it sure has changed. President Trump is over in Saudi Arabia. Qatar is going to give him a big jet. There's a lot of controversy about that. It's an over $400 million piece of equipment. And there's questionable ethics things involved there. Now, what they've done, they said that it'll be given to the Department of Defense. And then after President Trump leaves office, it'll go to his library. Now, President Reagan has a library out in Santa Barbara, which has Air Force One in it. That's a pretty sensational library. But I don't know how you make the pivot from the Defense Department to the, it belongs to the United States of America. What if they decide not to let him have it? And once you build a presidential library, if the federal government's involved in it, they'll pay for it, but they also control it. Richard Nixon's library was put together by his daughters in 1993. It was really neat. And they kept it till 2010. And they did it all with private money, so the federal government didn't have any say. Well, in 2010, they gave it to the government and said, it's yours, we can't do it anymore. All the people that worked there were volunteers. There were no paid employees when he was there. First thing he did was build a Watergate wing on that library. So once the federal government, if President Trump allows the federal government to be part of his library, they control what's in it, not him.
Let me ask you one final question here. Have you given any thought to running for office again?
Never.
That's a big
no.
Never, no.
I've never even given it serious consideration.
Is there a reason why? Or why not?
Well, I was at it long enough. I mean, I left when I was almost 69. I'm almost 75. I mean, it's enough's enough.
We have to break it off there. I hope you can come back.
Okay.
And bring Duke.
All right.
And maybe some barbecue sauce. Huh? Think so?
We'll see.
And on top of that, some smoked potato salad would be awesome.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm Rick Johnson. Dr. Michael Kilkenny is the Executive Director of the Cabell-Huntington Health Department. He's also Board President of the National Association of County and City Health Officials, which is a first for the state of West Virginia. And we'd like to welcome you, sir, to Inside West Virginia Politics.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, it's our pleasure to have you here. And I thought one of the things we would kind of just start with is just a brief bit about yourself.
Well, I actually was born in Ohio, and I spent my childhood there. But after I graduated from high school, I came to Marshall. I came to West Virginia the year after the plane crash. So I love West Virginia. I really feel at home in Appalachia. I've got the accent, and have spent my career here.
Yeah. I noticed doing just a little bit of research on you, if you will, that you actually, when you went to Marshall, you went in the direction of being a health director, if you will, focusing on community health care, rural health care. So that seems to be your passion.
Yeah, I trained in family medicine, and I am a board certified family practitioner. But I also trained in community health because I knew that in rural parts of West Virginia, the health officer for a county is often just the local doctor. So I wanted to, if I was going to be called upon to do that job, I wanted to do it well. I didn't actually anticipate that I would be doing it at a department as advanced as the Cabell-Huntington Health Department. I'm really honored to be their CEO and health officer.
Tell us a little bit about that agency. What does it do for the community?
The Cabell-Huntington Health Department would be a peer with the Canal-Charleston Health Department. We are the two nationally accredited health departments in the state of West Virginia. We're about the same size, serve about the same size cities, and we offer food safety through our sanitarians. We offer immunizations. We address preparedness with our community. We provide education and information about health to our community. We assess the health of our community. And we really take that responsibility very seriously. These are our people. We live there. We work there. They're our friends, our neighbors, our family. We want them to be healthy. We want the best for them, and we're going to be there for them no matter what.
How did working in the rural community kind of inform you of what's going to be coming down your path later on?
I have worked in the more rural counties. I've worked in Wayne County, I've worked in Lincoln County, I've worked in Summers County, Monroe County, and being that far out, being especially in the more isolated areas, it was really good to have the kind of high-level training that's received through a residency program at a school like Marshall University School of Medicine, and offer those services to those folks, but then to realize how difficult it can be to access health care and some other services when you have to travel, because I've lived in places where it's an hour to anywhere.
That's true.
And it's just having that understanding helps you plan for how to help folks when they're going to need it.
Well, congratulations on your term as the president of the board of NIOSH, and also for being the director at Cabell Huntington Health Department in Cabell County. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, that is Dr. Michael Kilkenny. I'm Rick Johnson, and that'll do it for another edition of Inside West Virginia Politics. We hope to see you back here next weekend.